Simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Fridays with Frank, with our host Frank Fiore and our co-host Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Hollow Man Publishing. Paul, how are you? And we're excited about our guest, aren't we?
Yeah, always happy to see Frank and talk to Frank. He's a very knowledgeable, very multi-talented fellow. So welcome, Frank.
All right, so we got Frank Fiore. Frank's going to talk about the whole Jonathan Smythe series, what books are out, and how he's been happy with the reviews so far. So kind of go into it, Frank.
Well, yes. Well, first of all, what is the series? It's based upon the concept that Jack the Ripper, after he made his or performed his last horrible murder in England, he died and disappeared, and nobody knows whatever happened to him. There's all kinds of theories out there. But one of the theories is that he escaped to America. So, and what I have as Jonathan Smythe is a amateur sleuth there in England who's been tracking down and or following Jack the Ripper. And so he thinks he thinks he knows how to catch him. And when he works up this theory that that Jack the Ripper escaped to America, he decides he's going to go to America and look for any kind of horrible uh, murder, a horrible death that might match what Jack the Ripper his MO, so to speak. And so this book series is a series of 6 books, and each one is a case. And what I did is I put together a long list of Western cowboy myths, okay? And based on those, they become they're myths that have horrible deaths to them. They were performed that the people died horribly, and so Jonathan Smythe follows each one of these Western myths and thinking that that's Jack the Ripper, and so that sets up each book being a Western, even though it's a crime drama, right? And so throughout the 6 books, he goes through case by case by case, which is each Western myth, until we get to the 6th book, which I'm writing now, and where he reveals, yeah, does he actually catch the Ripper or not? Well, that's what the 6th book is gonna do. So that's the basis of the concept.
Wow. And I guess the feedback, people love Westerns and add that British tone. It's good, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a unique twist. I like to write books with unique twists, not the same old, same old. And so and so they're pretty well received. In fact, of all my books that are selling, the Westerns are selling it the best, and they're only getting started, and that's because of my fan base, you might say, or my followers who are buying the books and actually reviewing them, and we're hoping that they'll continue to review them, and then that is the best thing that you can do for an author. You're buying his books are great, but also reviewing them after you buy them is best, because you really are helping the author and helping other people to sell, just to have the author sell books.
100%. And in those reviews, when you give a review, a 5-star, 4-star, well, we want 5-star reviews, then that's going to mean that more and more people are going to know about your books.
That's correct. That's correct. Well, people look at those reviews. I know I do, and I also look at any bad reviews that they have. Uh, but normally the books that get the 4 and 5 star, those are good books, and then they're just like my books are getting, and that mean that your money is going to be well spent and you're going to be well entertained.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. People got to definitely check that out. And what do you think with the main character, Jonathan Smythe? What do you want your readers to get most out of Jonathan?
Well, Jonathan is a very sophisticated Englishman, okay, and that's what sets up this sets up this parallel that here he was a sophisticated Englishman, very sophisticated, very dapper, and he goes out west, and of course the west is crude, it's frontier like, And so you have this matchup, which really works very well. Now, there's another element that I throw into this is that Scotland Yard believes that Jonathan has something to do with or is the Jack the Ripper because he seems to know so much about him, and so they decide they're going to run him in. They're going to ask him all kinds of questions to find out why he knows so much the Ripper, and that he even appears at the murders even before the police do. And so, but they find out that, of course, he went to America, and they're thinking that uh, he's trying to get away with something, that he's fleeing England. So they assign a Scotland Yard detective to go out there and follow him, maybe follow him to Canada or something where they can extradite him. But they assign this detective, Charles Abbott, who then weasels his way into Jonathan's confidence by claiming that he is a reporter for the London Times and he wants to report on Jonathan's search for the river. So you have this character, a sophisticated Jonathan Smythe, and you have this detective, not as sophisticated, but we're setting it up like Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So the person that Charles Abbott, the detective, he acts as the audience, as the reader, asking the questions and kind of prompting and moving the story forward.
All right. That is such great stuff you're talking about, Frank. What about the sidekick? Let's talk sidekick for a second. His sidekick.
Yeah, well, if you look at any kind of broad action movie, the hero always seems to have a sidekick. Okay, and look at Star Wars. Okay, even science fiction, and the sidekick acts as the reader, as the audience, trying to find out what's going on and knowing enough of the plot, enough of the story, but not enough to reveal it. But you can't have the hero running around acting like he knows everything, all right, or that he could pose the correct questions. That sidekick is very valuable when you're writing stories like this because it helps push the plot forward, and it makes sense that the sidekick, that the hero is not doing everything, and he seems to be invincible, and he seems to know everything.
No, yeah, the sidekick's an interesting guy, and he definitely does he get along with Smythe all the time?
Um, Well, remember, he believes that Smythe is onto something, that he may be. As the story progresses, he does believe less and less that Smythe is the Ripper, and so, but they get along together. I mean, they do. I mean, in fact, they get into all kinds of trouble. I mean, everything's from stampedes and drownings and dog and gunfights and all that. And so, yes, the fact Smythe saves Abbott's life on several times.
All right. Best place to go, frankfiore.com. And if you are a friend of Frank's, go on his Facebook or connect on LinkedIn because there's a potential pretty cool thing coming up as we're offering free books. First book free, right? If you register now, right?
That's correct. We're giving away the first book, the Case of the Screaming Tunnel of the Jonathan series, and we just think that once you read that first book, you'll get hooked and come and buy the rest of the series.
All right, that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show on Fridays.